can unmute
D says she
D
can't hear.
Owens and Jeff Morris.
Go ahead and try it now.
Yes, now I can hear. Thank you.
Okay, great. All right. D, can you confirm your presence for tonight's meeting?
Yes, I'm right here. Thank you.
And Jeff Morris, can you do the same?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. So we have 8 members and a quorum. Sorry, 7 members. 2, 3, 4,
Thank you.
5, 6, 7, 7.
Uh,
I'm sorry to interrupt. The sound went away again.
To approve. We need to get TSD to fix the sound. The sound was lost to Zoom land again.
I second the evidence.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the evidence. I will call the roll for the in-person attendees. Margaret Clements.
Yes.
Bernie Garitas.
Yes.
Jeff McKim.
Yes.
Jerry Pittsford.
Yes.
Julie Thomas.
Yes.
And Dee and Jeff, can you hear me?
Yes, I can now. Yes.
Yes. And Jeff Morris?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
Okay.
7-0.
Can I have a motion on the agenda, please?
So move approval.
Second.
Motion and approval, voice vote on this, or we do the roll call?
I'll do the roll call.
Okay.
Bernie Caritas.
Yes.
Jeff McKim.
Yes.
Dee Owens. Jerry Pittsford.
Yes.
Julie Thomas.
Yes.
Jeff Morris.
Yes.
Margaret Clements.
Yes.
Dee Owens.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
Thank you. I do not see minutes listed, so we don't have any minutes for approval, which leads us to administrative business. And our first case on the agenda tonight is VAR-22-27. This is a refund request, and it has been amended from the packet. The request is a refund of $104. And who is presenting this? Jackie?
That would be me. Thank you, Jerry.
Okay, thanks, Ann.
Yeah. So this is a design standards variance from the front setback, chapter 804. It was heard at the Board of Zoning Appeals originally in July, and it was continued to August. So this is a property off of Chandler Road, and staff had originally determined this front setback requirement of being 25 feet. So here on the screen on the right side, we have the original site plan. This was to add an accessory structure to the property, a carport. The southern boundary was interpreted originally as front. So here, after going to the Board of Zoning Appeals, having some discussion, staff has amended, we reviewed the definitions of a front setback and have amended our determination on this. So the interpretation now is that the front setback is only the small area where East Chandler Road is actually connecting with the property, and that the rest of the southern property boundary would be a side yard setback, which would allow them to build that accessory structure at the setback amount that they were requesting of 15 feet. So we have stopped their variance application. We've released their building permit, and they have put in writing a request for part of the variance amount. The total was $208.50, and they're requesting $104 as a refund.
Do we have any questions for staff?
Yes, I do. So this is different information than was presented to the Board of Zoning Appeals. We were not presented with the information that the variance was unnecessary, although I believe that was alleged, as I remember. Is that right?
Yeah, Dee, so after the Board of Zoning Appeals met, we came back and discussed this case, including with legal, and we're just reviewing the front setback again, since this is such an unusual intersection of the road with the property. And in reviewing the definitions, it was determined that actually the southern property line would be more in line with a side setback. So we We recognize this hasn't been back to the Board of Zoning Appeals yet. But because they're able to meet the ordinance requirements for a side setback, they no longer need to be on the Board of Zoning Appeals agenda. And so we plan on giving that update at the next Board of Zoning Appeals meeting, but it hasn't occurred quite yet. So at this point, they're just asking for a partial refund for that request.
Okay, thank you for the explanation. I'd like to know why they don't get a full refund if there was never any reason for them to apply anyway.
And was their letter to request half of the cost, or did they request the full price?
They
No, they-
requested half the cost.
Okay,
Yeah,
and I think the plan commission can vote to give more than that, but we do ask that people apply in writing for a refund and what the request is. So the request in front of you, they've asked for $104 in return, but they did pay $208.50.
Did they give a reason why they only wanted half?
No, they did not.
Oh, okay, he just commented, he's watching from online, and he says he asked for half. Thank you, John.
Well, we heard the case before the Board of Zoning Appeals, and the Board of Zoning Appeals gave a recommendation that to advise the Plan Commission to refund the full amount. And I feel that the full amount should be refunded.
And Margaret, you're right, but at that BZA meeting, I voted against it. That's why I want to know that this is new information, because with this new information, then I'm definitely going to vote for it. Thank you.
So that, just another case that there was also a discussion of a refund was for a minimum lot width variance in the administrative review for the temporary placement of the mobile home for medical purposes. So this is a
I
separate case
see.
from
I
that. We
see.
didn't, I don't think, discuss the refund at that
I
meeting.
see. I see. Well, I'd like to make a motion that we refund the full amount.
At second,
Okay, it's
Okay, we have
been,
motion and second. And to be clear, the filing cost for the variance was $208.50, correct?
correct.
Okay, so the motion is for a refund of the full amount of $208.50. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Jackie, please call the roll.
Okay, Julie Thomas,
Yes.
Bernie Garitas,
Yes.
Jerry Pittsford,
Yes.
Jeff McKim,
Yes.
Margaret Clemens.
Yes.
Jeff Morris,
Yes.
Dee Owens.
yes.
Okay, motion carries 7-0 for the full refund of $208.50.
All right. You're welcome, Mr. Lukes. Is it Lukes or Laux?
I believe it's Laux.
Laux. Okay, you're welcome, Mr. Laux. Next on our agenda is case under new business. We have REZ 22-7. This is the Reman rezone from PB to Ag RR. It's a preliminary hearing with the waiver of final hearing requested. This is one 4 plus or minus acre parcel in Clear Creek Township, section 14 at 8245 South Fairfax Road. And it is zoned PB, pre-existing business, and presenting tonight will be Ms. Ann Crecilius.
Thank you, Jerry. So this property is located at 8245 South Fairfax Road. It's zoned pre-existing business and also environmental constraints overlay 2, so eco 2. It's located in Clear Creek Township, section 14. It is unplatted and the comp plan designation is rural residential. So the petition site is totaling about 4 acres. They're requesting to amend the zoning map from pre-existing business and eco area 2 to agricultural rural reserve, or ag RR, and eco 2. So the petition site currently contains a single family residence and also residential accessory structures. The existing residence was built in about 1970 per the property report card. So as you can see, the area surrounding it is also agricultural rural reserve and pre-existing business in some areas. So the intent of the petitioner's request is to allow them to continue the use of a residence and also be able to use the residential use to be able to expand to new accessory structures, et cetera, which are currently would not be allowed. The petitioners state they've done some research and have not necessarily found any kind of pre-existing business use on the property as far as they're aware of, that this property has been a residence since approximately 1970 and the house was built. So on the screen are just a few photos from the staff site visit. There's been, some remodeling done, which would be allowed and was permitted under the pre-existing non-conforming status under Chapter 803, but an expansion would require compliance with the full zoning ordinance and also the zone. So on the left side of the screen currently is the petitioner's letter where they state that they have no record of a pre-existing business and that it was maybe possibly zoned pre-existing business in error. We're not able to confirm that, but staff does support this request. As far as we can tell, it has been a residential use for some time. On the bottom right is the site conditions map that does show, that there is slope, which is consistent with an eco area 2 overlay that's, going to drain towards the Lake Monroe Reservoir. So staff does recommend a positive recommendation to the county commissioners, to the planning commission and therefore then county commissioners, subject to the findings of fact and the Monroe County Highway Department and MS4 coordinator reports. The plan review committee did review this in August, and they also forwarded a positive recommendation. As to date, the highway department and MS4 coordinator do not have any recommendations or necessarily comment on this rezone request.
Okay, thank you, Ann. Do we have any questions for staff? Go ahead, Bernie.
Was this a petition a few years ago in front of the Board of Zoning Appeals, or was there something else with this property that we looked at with the pre-existing business?
If
Is
the
this
name
something-
sounds familiar, they have
This-
pursued
it seems
tourist
familiar
home.
to me.
These, the petitioners have pursued tourist homes in the past in this area, but not for this specific property. And this is, as they state, their personal property.
It made no difference to me. I was just curious. Thanks. Ann. That's all I had.
Are there any other questions? Questions from those coming in via Zoom? All right, I would note that this does include a request for a waiver of final hearing. So if you want to include that in your motion, that would be fine. And if we want to deal with that as a separate motion, we can, but let's try it with that attached the first time through.
I can do this. Do we need public and?
So don't we have to
right.
hear from the petitioner?
Yeah, okay. Do we have anybody here representing the petitioner?
I see Mr. Reeman is online.
Okay,
Yes, if tech
yes.
services could unmute Brooke Reeman.
Yeah, there his hand was raised. Gotcha.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, hi. Yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions. Or is there something you'd like me to say specifically?
No, I don't believe there are any questions. Is there any questions via Zoom?
No.
None here, thanks.
Okay, you're in luck. Let's move to the public comment period. Is there anyone here who wishes to speak in favor of this petition? Is there anyone who wishes to speak in opposition to this petition? Is there okay, that's still her hand up. Never mind. All right, so I see neither. So at this time, we bring it back to the Plan Commission for final consideration.
Move we forward a positive recommendation to the Board of Commissioners based on the finding of fact and subject to the Monroe County Highway Department and MS4 coordinator reports and waive final hearing.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to send a favorable or positive recommendation to the county commissioners for the Reeman rezone REZ 22-7, which is a rezone from pre-existing business to ag RR with a waiver of final hearing. A vote in favor is a vote to send a positive recommendation. Jerry Pittsburgh,
Yes.
Jeff McKim,
Yes.
Margaret Clemens.
Yes.
Jeff Morris,
Yes.
Dee Owens,
Yes,
Julie Thomas,
Yes.
Bernie Garitas.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes 7-0.
Thank you. At this time, we have reports.
And we also have an item, public comment for items that aren't on the agenda. We also have that in our every agenda if there is any, but I do not have any reports.
Okay. I didn't know that we were done.
I didn't
Oh,
know.
yeah,
that.
with comment. When did we start
Is that
doing
new?
again?
Is that why? you're
That's
here?
always been in the rules of procedure. It just we've,
I was going to say, we haven't
Pointing
done
it
that
out.
for a while. I know there was a time when we did do it.
yep.
Okay.
Okay.
all
Are you
right.
just here for the fun of it, Mr. Cassidy, or do you have?
Oh, you're sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, I don't think there's a 12-step program for people who like to attend public meetings for no reason.
For masochists.
Okay.
Okay, I would, Jackie, if you would ask Jackie if you would give us some update on what's going on with Amy's seat on the Plan Commission, because we did discuss
Sure.
that briefly in exec committee.
Yes, so Amy's position at Purdue Extension, if you look at the state statute, there is an ability to either appoint one person from the community for a temporary term or just fully appoint the next person to fill the vacancy. When I spoke with Amy, there has not been a hiring decision made yet on her position that serves the Plan Commission. Her role has been split into two. And so one person is taking part of the position, but that position does not serve on the Plan Commission. So we still have that vacancy. And if the Plan Commission would like me to reach out to Purdue Extension via Amy to ask about a temporary position or an update, I was planning on asking for an update for the very least. Amy does not have any update. I talked to her today, but I can ask and see if there's any other updates that we can have, maybe if they're hiring or interviewing or something.
Right, I definitely support that. I don't think Amy should have to keep being our point of communication with the extension agency. So
Yeah.
if you would please find out who to address that to and copy all members of the Plan Commission. And I assume county commissioners might want to know about that as well. I don't know, but at least Plan Commission should be copied on that. Okay, never mind. Commissioners don't need to
Plan
know.
Commission. Okay, I will do that.
Okay. Mr. Schilling, do you have any report?
I do not.
Okay, well, with that being said,
So who makes the appointment if the commissioners don't make the appointment? I didn't catch that.
It's a Purdue Extension
Purdue
hire.
Extension.
Okay, so they will make an appointment. Okay,
Yeah, they will hire.
Yeah, that's a Purdue spot.
gotcha.
Yep.
Thanks.
okay. It's not on the agenda, and I would like to ask if we could bring this forward for consideration as a non-agenda item or have it placed on an agenda for the next administrative meeting. But in light of President Biden saying in his 60 Minutes interview on Sunday that the pandemic is over, and I realize that that statement has been contradicted by some folks, but I was wondering if it's an apt time to begin discussion for full in-person meetings going forward. And I realize that may be contingent on consideration from county commissioners or county council, but I would like that idea to be put forward or at least be raised for discussion.
Well, I'd just like to make a comment and an observation that that locally, Mr. Shockney has come out and said that we're expecting another surge this fall. So I don't think we should be so quick to respond, especially when things are working out okay right now.
Mhm.
And, I'm always willing and able to go to an extra effort to make it back to an in-person meeting, even if I'm out of town. And the flexibility of being able to attend, like if I'm traveling, is gracious. And I can appreciate that because it helps move the county's business forward. It helps to move the county's business forward, I believe, so.
Yeah, I would add to that just looking at the CDC website, there were 355 deaths yesterday from COVID across the country. That's been our average between 200 and 400 deaths a day, which is not small across the nation. We have immunocompromised people who can join the meeting. We're going to keep Zoom either way because people can join meetings in a way that they couldn't before. So that's been helpful for getting more public input in general. So we're not getting rid of Zoom. And I know that's something that we talked about among the commissioners right at the beginning. Is this has been really helpful for public input and public participations and transparency. So we're keeping Zoom. I think there is a real value in ensuring that every member of the community that is willing to participate is not prevented from doing so because of health concerns. And indeed, it has been a really, it's been really beneficial because I would have missed some meetings this year because I've been out of town. And I know others as well have been in the same situation. And so I think that flexibility has indeed, as Ms. Clements said so clearly, has really helped keep our agendas moving and has provided us with a short agenda this evening that I don't want to waste sitting here. Thank you.
To adjourn.
Okay.
So I guess I would have a question. Is there does anyone that makes decisions on this, and I'll say locally, is there a path moving forward that we ever see that we're going to have at least members of boards and committees be meeting face to face?
I will
And I'm
raise
not-
that to my colleagues.
Excuse me, just a second.
Okay.
I'm not judging the 355, whether that's important or not important. I don't know what the other statistics are for other events that are going on in the country that may battle that or may be at 450, and we may end up going to that number to be the important number. I don't know where all that is, but I would just be curious if,
Yeah.
for the first question, are we looking at any path forward to meeting with board members at least to be
As-
face to face?
As I said, I will raise that with my colleagues.
Okay,
As a
that's
request. That's
fine.
all I can do.
I'd like to just make an additional comment that, we do believe in individual liberties here in our country, and we believe in the right of the individual and the sanctity of human life. And so to the extent that a board member is comfortable or uncomfortable coming to the meeting, I think we owe that person a deference of respect.
Well, I think that's a pretty sharp barb, Margaret, because I'm not implying that I don't believe in those either.
That's not a
And
barb.
I'm also not, my statement had nothing to do with whether I believe that we have individual liberties or that I'm trying to insult anybody or bring someone into an element that they don't feel comfortable with.
Well,
First thing. Second thing, I think that there's a lot of opportunities in this community to serve on boards to be of service. And I think certain boards, personal opinion, face-to-face contact, being able to look people and be able to have a dialogue and read body language and things that go on in our meetings, I think are important. And that's why I made the comments that I did. And I think that there are multiple opportunities for people to serve in the community and maybe not on the exact board that they want to. But if we do have a path moving forward where we're going to meet in person, at some point, we're going to have to cross that threshold anyway.
Well, let's make no mistake about it. This issue has been politicized, and I don't want to politicize it on this board.
Well, yeah, but again, Barb too.
Well,
okay,
maybe it's
and
it's
I'm not
deserved then.
politicizing anything. I've been on that side of the podium and I've been on this side of the podium. And I know the benefit of being able to look out and see people that you're trying to discuss and have a topic presented for. And it's very helpful to see people in front of you that are going to be able to make the judgment. It's very important. So I'm not.
Well,
I'm not
I accept
discounting-
your barbs.
Yeah, they're not
Okay.
barbs.
Well, neither are mine. Thank you.
Well, I would
I
note too,
disagree.
I disagree too.
So,
I would note that having been through a very contentious process with updating a comprehensive plan, that there is an element of transparency that occurs when meetings are done in full public. And there is some maintaining of order that occurs when everybody is in public that doesn't work as well as we saw several times demonstrated, even on this board when you're working via Zoom. And with that, if there's no objection, I would accept a motion for adjournment. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Bye.
Okay.